So the new moon in Gemini has a tendency to give us a more active mind. So we'll just become aware of that. Uh, Gemini is a very busy, active sign, communicative and um, mental. So ideas come in and inspiration. So we'll just see what happens this morning as we come into our center. Just pressing down through your sit bones, connecting with the earth through your core. Grounding down into the core of the earth. And then reach up through your spine, all 32 vertebrae. Extend up and let your shoulders drop down. And just become aware of your mind, your thoughts. We don't, excuse me, we don't have to be buffeted around by the energies, but there usually is some sort of influence. And it's just good to be aware of the energies so that as you interact with others, you just have kind of some clues to work with. Sometimes our minds race to see how yours is this morning. So one of the reasons we that practice yoga don't necessarily get buffeted around is because of working with the breath. The breath does impact the mind and body. So just become aware of your breath. It's always good for centering. Check in also with your emotional body, your feeling state. Just checking in with emotions, seeing if there's anything emerging or coming to the surface of your awareness. We talked a little bit about the astrology with some aspects that are causing us to recognize an underlying anger around being controlled. So just check in with yourself and see if there's anything that you recognize. How does it feel when you're threatened with over control? Whether it's a person, an agency, organization, government. Also know that you do have sovereignty when you're connected with source energy and your higher self. You're protected. And check in with your body, certainly. We're going to be moving. So just see if there's any sensations coming into your awareness. Sometimes as we sit in quiet mode, things will become more apparent that we weren't aware of before. So we'll attune to breath. Just bring palms into Anjali Mudra, your prayer hands, and breathe in circles, opening up the energy above you, allowing it to flow in. Exhale, releasing any tension, and just repeat a few times. For relaxation, we want a longer exhale. All right. And one more attunement to breath, reaching up and opening arms out to the side. So once your arms are down, bring them back up into a V. Open your crown chakra like a lotus flower or chrysanthemum on top of your head, opening to spiritual energies, inspiration, ideas. With Mercury being so prominent right now, it's a great time to allow that in. If you want a visual, you can just imagine bright light sparkling and shimmering like a beam of light coming down into your body. And then opening your arms out and let them lower down. Relax your shoulders. As a matter of fact, let's circle them around a few times. And reverse. Bring your arms around behind you, interlace fingers, and draw your arms away from your back. Contract in your neck and upper back. Squeeze out, just wring out any tension. And then we'll take our arms back up overhead, interlace fingers, creating a little altar in your palms, reaching up for that inspiration, that light. Reach a little higher, pull up out of your shoulders, up out of your waist, out of your hips. And then release and let your arms float down easily. Ah, all right. All right. So just a little sway to start to loosen up in hips and spinal area. It's morning, so just take it easy. And come back to center. And just bring your palms down onto your mat and slide your hands out. Check in with your hips here. Now just staying forward, but walking your hands in and coming over to your left leg. Stretching down. Reach with the forward arm, your right arm. And we'll come over to the other side. Just walk your hands through center, coming over. Reach with your left arm. And then back to center and let yourself come back up. And a counter pose, just bring your hands around behind you, fingertips, palms, whichever works best for you. Lift in your sternum, lift your ribs, draw your shoulder blades together and take your chin up towards the ceiling and come into an arch. So here, become aware of your throat chakra right in front of your throat. Actually, it goes all the way back through the neck. Your sky blue chakra. Open it, let it spin. This is your communication center, creative word. Let it open and spin, and then just come forward. Let your chin come down to your chest, opening up the back of your neck. And then come back up to center and stretch your legs out. Shake out your knees. Windshield wiper. And circle around. Loosen up in your ankles. If you haven't been out and about much this morning, then this will loosen up your and lubricate your joints. And then press down, making sure you tilt your pelvis forward so that your pelvic floor is facing the earth and you have a nice straight spine. Press the back of your legs down against the mat and reach up through your crown in Dandasana. And then point your toes and flex. And squeeze those toes. Bring the energy all the way down in and then stretch them out. Let the air circulate. All right. Great. So let's come up onto the balls of our feet. And we'll stretch a little more in the soleus, the calf muscles a little bit. Certainly the feet. Bring your knees closer and closer to the floor as you're able. Press your heels away. It's a great stretch for the Achilles area. And then we'll come up sitting on our heels. And just breathe your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, bring your hands onto the back of your head, and just open your shoulders. Open your chest, lift up out of your hips, lift your sternum. Just go back. You won't go far, most likely, but just open up the front of your body. We do so many things where we're bending forward in our routine. And come back to center and release. Bring your palms onto the mat in front of you. Let your toes out and pat them on the floor. Okay. With the tops of your feet on the mat, just come back sitting on your heels again and just bend and straighten your elbows. Just loosen up to lubricate your elbow joints. And then circle around in your wrists. Reverse. Interesting to see everybody's different pace. Some of you are really fast, feeling that Gemini energy, huh? Okay. Squeeze fingers in and loosen them up. Okay. Make a soft fist and circle around. It's a little different stretch. And then open your hands, but bring in the thumb. Wrap your fingers around. You want your upper arms in line with your ribs, and then your forearms are extended out from your elbows, so your forearms are parallel to the floor, okay? So you're well aligned. And then just a gentle stretch, bringing your thumbs towards your wrist or towards your elbow, and then stretching it forward. Very gently. Notice the sensation. You might feel some around your carpal tunnel area. If you're on the computer a lot, you might notice it more. And then just shake it out. Okay. All right. So coming onto hands and knees, separate your knees just hip width, and we'll just loosen up a little bit more with some cat, arching cat, rounded cat. So start in neutral spine, press through your crown. Become aware of the inner knuckle, the underside, pressing it into the mat, your knuckles. And start with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Draw your core in and round your back. And then tilt your tailbone up, roll through your spine into an arch, lift your chin, and working your cat. It's a great place to use your Ujjayi breath, your ocean sounding breath. Okay, good. And walk your palms forward a little bit. We're going to come into our plank. So stretch your legs back onto the balls of your feet. Press your heels away. Feel your calves. A nice lengthening there. Once again, to remove some of the flexion in your wrist, just press that inner knuckles down. Wrinkle free in the back of your neck, so lengthen out. Shoulder blades pull down. Core muscles working. And then just draw your left knee in. See if you can bring your nose and your knee towards each other. You can lift up. And lengthen that left leg back. Lift it up. You can come into a three-legged down dog. And come back into plank. Let your knees down for a moment though. And work your wrists a little bit. Come down into your forearms and loosen up. Um, Squeeze in your fingers, loosen up in your wrists. You can even rub your palms together, just increasing circulation. Now we'll repeat on the other side. So come into your plank. Really open your hands. Press down on the inner side of your knuckles. And lengthen it out. Shoulder blades down your back. Nice long stretch. Core muscles, feel them activated, nicely engaged. And then draw your right knee in towards your nose. You can press up. See if you can touch knee to nose. If not, that's okay. Just bring it in. And then take your leg out, stretch it behind you, press down in your left heel into three-legged, lift it up. And
And let it come back down and come into your downward facing dog. Lengthen in your neck. Head is just between your arms. And then walk your feet in towards your hands, into ragdoll. Some people like to hold on to elbows here. Just see if that works for you. It changes the energy. It pulls you forward a little bit more, creating kind of a fulcrum here. Breathe and relax. All right, now bring your arms up behind you, back by your hips. Take in a breath. Bend your knees and swing up into chair pose. Separate your feet about hip width apart for your chair. Good and stable chair legs. Toes forward. Good. Now bring your arms so they're parallel to the floor. Now, it's been forever since we've done this, but let's give it a try. Lift your left heel up. Focus on a spot. Lift your right heel up. Balance. Press your heels forward as much as you're able. Feel the strength in your legs. Use your core. And then lift up onto the balls of your feet. Stretch it up. I can touch the ceiling here, so you can't tell I'm cheating. All right, let your heels down and lower your arms down. Shake them out. Okay, we're going to do that again. Going to repeat. So let's bring our arms up with a nice deep breath and open out. Swan dive forward. Exhale. And then bring your arms back by your hips. Inhale. And swing it up into chair pose. Reach. Separate your feet, hip width. Draw your tummy in and up. Lift. Sink down a little deeper. This time, reach your arms forward. Reach fingertips forward. Take your hips back and deepen your chair. Make it a lazy boy chair, right? All right, now lift so that your hips are over your heels. Lift your left heel. Focus on a spot. When you're ready, lift your right heel. Now you can press down on your feet and isometrically squeeze them together for stability. Then lift up, reach, draw your core muscles up and in, and let your heels down, let your arms down, and circle around a few times in your shoulders. And reverse.
And separate your feet a little bit more and swing in a standing twist. Remember to lift your outside heel. You want to twist in your spine, not your knees. And come back to center. Just bring your feet in. Come into Tadasana, mountain pose. Now, we want to find our center in our feet. So just sway side to side, not lifting your feet, just sway and press one foot more into the floor than the other. Shift the weight onto each foot. Now find your center where you have equal pressure on both feet into the ground, settling down into the earth. Now sway forward and back, but keep your feet on the floor. Just swaying, bringing the weight onto your heels and then the balls. And then find the center front to back where it's evenly distributed. Keep drawing your core in and up. Now taking a breath and shift the weight over to your right foot. Bend your left knee and see if you can pull it in. Just lift it up, let it down, switch. Other leg, pull it up, loosening up in the hips. This is really good. It's a simple exercise, but so good for your low back and the groin. Okay, so now start to bring the knee up and open it out. Take your time. Okay, horse pose. Separate your feet in a wide stance. Turn your toes about 45 degrees. Okay, so they're not all the way out to the side. They're not in, just about halfway. Press down in both feet. Taking a breath. Reach up through your crown and exhale. Bend your knees, pressing them open as much as you're able. Bring palms into Anjali Mudra. I like to sway a little bit here. Just bring the weight onto one foot and then the other. And then just like you're sitting down in between your feet, lower your hips. Just explore your hips, opening those knees. In ballet, this is a plie. Ah, watching balance. Now to come up, press your feet firmly into the ground and squeeze your legs together, lifting you up. Breathe. Exhale, take it out again. Open your knees. Squeeze legs as you come back in. You might feel this in your hip joints. Last time. Exhale down. Hold the pose. And squeeze, legs coming back up. Turn your toes in and step it in. Okay, release your arms, shake it out. Now, just step your right leg forward and your left leg back, um, just to stretch in your hip, in your groin, your psoas muscles. Bend the front knee, press the heel away in the back leg. Just stretch your hips, press them forward, lift up in your ribs. And we'll switch sides. As you lift, that's going to lengthen and stretch those psoas muscles and your hip flexors. And step it in. Switch legs. So we're going to add to this. I'm going to come down into our sun pose, bringing fingertips or palms onto the mat. Let your hips relax a little more. Press through the back heel, lift your chin. Breathe. And step it in. Step the other leg back. Stretch it out, sun pose. Okay, take both feet back. Let your knees down and draw your hips forward. Feet are just relaxed on the floor. Going to stretch in our back. Lift your sternum. You can roll side to side. Come into center. Pull back into puppy. And then come up into plank. And pull back into downward facing dog. And bring the left leg in, sun pose. Step it in, switch legs, sun pose. Step it in, reverse swan, arms out, breathe, luxurious deep breath. Arms overhead, standing back bend or salute, reach it up. Legs are engaged. Stretch up out of your hips. Remember to lift your ribs. And bring it back. Prayer hands. Pause. And just check in with yourself. Notice your mind, your breath, sensations in your body. All right, so we're going to head into Warrior Two pose. So you can either turn your mat or turn your body on your mat. Come into center. Let's do our hop out. So take in your breath, bend your knees, and hop out into five-pointed star. That was cute. It went 1, 2, 3. All right. So turning out your Left leg. We're just starting with the left today, seems like. Okay. Widen your stance to where you want it. Open the chest and shoulders. Lift. You want your pelvic floor facing the earth. So the energy can come up unimpeded, up through your spine, and also down through your spine. Okay. Take in your breath and bend that left knee. So this is like half a horse. Remember we were in horse with both knees bent out to the side. So this is like Sagittarius, half horse. Gaze over your fingertips, over the bent knee. Ground into the earth. And inhale. We're just going to switch sides. Turn the back foot in, toes in, heel out. Front foot, toes out to the side. Hips pointing forward. Draw the pelvic area up. Breathe it in. Exhale out into your warrior two and gaze over your fingertips. Keep getting that dynamic moving as you open your right knee. Press down in your left hip. Relax down. And then draw the knee in. Relax your arms. Step it in. And another standing twist. We want to just loosen it up. Keep it moving. Gemini, it moves. Okay. So for our balancing half moon, we'll come into a narrow stance of warrior two. So starting with your left, align, bend your left knee. I recommend that you keep your right arm alongside the body as you bend. You're going to take your hand and place it on the floor on the diagonal out from your pinky toe, about a foot. So bend down, fingertips or palm, whatever, on the floor. Keep that left knee open, open shoulders and hips as much as you can in this position, and transfer the weight onto your front foot. Lift the back leg up. You want to be in a straight line, and then lift your arm up. So hinge down in that front hip. Open the shoulders. Stretch out in all directions. Fingertips, both hands, crown, back leg. Press down, grounding into the earth with your left foot. Slightly reach back with that front foot and see if you can lift that hand off the floor. Lift and then come up. All right, good job. All right, other side. Turn your right toes out, bend the knee. You got a narrow stance of warrior two. Left arm remains alongside the body. Bend, reach just about a foot behind and on the diagonal from your pinky toe. Then realign shoulders, hips. They won't go far, but open as much as you can. Shift the weight to your front foot. Get my hair out of my eyes here. Lift your back leg up.
Open your shoulders and your hips, and then reach up with that left arm. Keep opening, opening, opening. Lift up in that back leg. Hinge down in the front hip, and just see if you can lift that hand off the floor and come right on up. Good job. Loosen up in your shoulders. Did you take a little tension there? Good. All right. And just some crisscrosses with your arms out to the side and crisscross. And circle around. Okay, another balance pose. This is the four square. So stand with your feet about hip width apart. Bend your knees. Now, remember how we shifted our weight side to side before? Okay, bring the weight onto your right foot. Lift the left knee. You might want to spot something near the floor. Bring that ankle across, lower down. Press back in your hips. I'll do this sideways so you can see a little more. Lower down into your four squares. Flex the foot on that bent knee. Lower down, and then if you can, come into prayer hands. Hold, balance as much as you can. Breathe. Release. Come down onto the floor and prepare for the other side. So take in your breath. Exhale, bend your knees, a nice deep bend. And then another breath. As you exhale, shift the weight to your left foot and bring your right ankle across, flex that foot and bend down a little deeper as low as you can go. Reach your hips away, stretching in your spine. Lower down. If you come out of it, just immediately come right back in. And then release, lift up. Ah, good job. All right, come down onto your mat for our butterfly. With all this Mercury energy, Gemini energy, that's the butterfly flitting from one flower to another. So loosen up in your hips after your balancing half moon. The four square is also good after balancing half moon to stretch the hips out because you do use them quite a bit in your balancing half moon. So wing beats. Draw your wings down. Lift up through the crown. Breathe. All right. Now, take your left foot forward and bring your right foot in. If your leg will go there, you can either keep it in front of that knee in directly beyond the knee, or for our twist, make sure this heel is out of the way and lift, bring that knee in. Reach your right hand around,
Scoop forward, inhale as you lift up with your left arm and use your arm around your leg for leverage. Come into your twist. Look over your shoulder. Press down in your sitting bones and breathe that left arm back up towards your ear and come around to the front. Good. Now, just for a moment, come over onto that right hip, bring that left leg around for a thigh stretch. Try to face your hips forward and draw your knee back, heel into your hip. And then bring the leg in, and we're going to switch. So your left leg is in front now. And wherever you're placing your right leg for your twist, I think my cat deposited some fur around my face here. Lift up as you press down in your sitting bones. Hold on and scoop your right arm out. Inhale it up and hold on. Come around into your twist. All right, to come out, press your sitting bones firmly down into the earth and reach up with that right arm. Inhale. Exhale, coming around to the front. Take your right ankle, bring it around behind you for your thigh stretch. Breathe. Stretch on the exhale. And release. And align yourself on your mat for Shavasana. Get comfortable, nice and warm, or some people prefer to be cool. So whatever is your preference. Lengthen through your heels. Just for a moment, draw your low back under. Roll your hips under. You can lift them up a little bit, draw your low back down, and then set your hips back down again. Palms are up in receptivity to relaxation energy. Let it go now. Let go of holding, of doing. Come into your being state. Especially now, let your mind relax. Letting your thoughts just pass through, not attaching to any one thought. Let it pass through like clouds, fluffy white clouds. And eventually the clouds are gone and there's just a clear sky. That's your mind, if you don't mind. Sorry. Let your body become heavy with relaxation like a pillar of cement, relaxed. Let your butterfly come and sit right on your center, that peaceful place within you. Let it pollinate.
Now become aware of the butterfly sitting on your very center. Bringing attention to that part of you that's always there, accessible. And let that butterfly drink in some of the peacefulness at your center. What kind of a butterfly do you see? Is it a monarch or a swallowtail? Let it drink in that peacefulness. And then let your butterfly take off and start to fly up to the surface of your body, bringing attention to your physical body and how it feels. Imagine that little butterfly walking on you, feeling its little feet touching you, delicate, free, beautiful. And then start to bring some moves into your body, your hands and feet. You might want to take your head side to side, just a little stretch to wake it up, get the circulation flowing more. And then slide your feet together. Lift your knees up to your chest. Don't crush your butterfly. And come up and over into sitting. Now, just imagine that butterfly sitting right over your chest, your sternum, or the middle of your chest, wherever you feel it. And allow that butterfly to stay there, flitting around. And whenever you need a little drink of the nectar from your inner sanctum, that peaceful place inside of you, just draw on that butterfly, even though butterflies flit from one place to another. When this one finds expansion in your heart, because that's how huge your heart is. So it shares with you, bringing that peacefulness from your center, and you share with the energy of your heart. So just bring your hands into mudra, your favorite mudra, to seal in all these benefits, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual from your practice today. And then come to Anjali Mudra, prayer hands, with your thumbs touching your heart center. And may your explorations on your journey be filled with awe and joy
compassion. Namaste, everybody.